Hi collective, it's Shania. Y'all, let's get a read. Okay. This is the throat chakra tuning fork. It's 141.27 hertz. I like the beautiful color too. Alright. It's this that's rocking over here, okay? I can hear it. It's a slight sound. Alright. Archangel Michael, I ask that you preside over this reading. I ask that you protect me and my collective as we channel, transmute, and harmonize the energy for the highest good. Ashe, Ashe collective. Alright collective, let's get a reflections in, okay? A simple 1 to 3 card splash. Like a water drop in the ocean. Show me, Archangel Michael. 1. Thank you. 2. I'm not sure what that was. Thank you. Singer, they're first out. First thing I get looking at him, I'm getting like Backstreet Boys. I don't know a lot about those, those pop type singers, but I'm definitely getting Backstreet Boys, okay? Whatever that means, collective. Someone who's performing, but let's see, it says resonance, moving hearts, harmony, emotion, performance, resonance, and you have that light there in the back, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting like an energy vampire collective. Okay? Why? I don't know. I get like somebody who's like a new performer, okay? They're beginning to make a name for themselves, right? Collective, here I go again with those shoes, okay? You can't see them. Let me see. His shoes look like, he's still working on coming up, right? I don't know. There's always something about shoes. My father, that's why. And he worked most of his life in a shoe store. I think it was called Gauge, okay? And he was very good at what he did, okay? He had a lot of respect there, right? I felt anyway from what I could see. But he always, even though now collective, I don't wear the shoes that I know I should be wearing collective, okay? We're royalty, right? But I have to make practical decisions, collective. Okay? Alright, but it's something about he doesn't really seem self-assured, okay? I don't get a lot of energy off of him. The energy I get is what's coming from that light. And it's not coming from him. Okay? And I think that's why it's talking about this resonance, moving hearts, right? Harmony, emotion, performance, right? But that moving hearts, you would think as the singer, he would be moving the hearts of the audience, right? But somehow it's the reverse. It's like a mind trickery of some sort, collective, okay? And look, it looks like his shoes. It's something strange going on, collective, okay? You can't see it. I can't make you see it. It looks like his shoes aren't touching the ground. It's like some barrier. like I don't know, collective. It's something ain't right. I don't know if you can see it. It's something ain't right about that shadow and the way it casts the reflection from his shoes. It shouldn't be like that. It should be touching, right? Isn't that like the litmus test for if a mirror is like a two-way mirror, collective? Don't you see it? Something ain't right. I'm getting fake magic tricks or something, collective. And I'm getting somebody that's not, forgive me, whoever you are, okay? That's not really that much quality in terms of what they're singing. I feel like they ain't singing about nothing, okay? And I don't feel like they have the energy or the zest and the zeal, right? If that's right, to really pull it off. That's why you got that light back there. Whatever that light is, that is the source of their resonance, their balance, their harmony, okay? All right, guy, get out of here. Or gal. Number 2, splash number 2, collective. What is it? I thought, my goodness, okay. Clergy. Guardians of faith, religion, morality, compassion, sacred mission. Let's get a good look. Ooh, just fell out my hands, collective. What does that mean? Okay, but let's get a good gander at that one. It has a labyrinth to it, right? A grand structure. There's the lights and the candle. Are those candles? Let me see. Oh my goodness, collective. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It looks like a big... Forgive me, those who are religious, okay? I'm not being disrespectful. Not all churches are like this or religious places. But this looks like a big seance or something going on, collective. Look at it. He looks like this grand Satan person in the middle. Collective, look at this. And it got the Jesus picture, the image that they've given the world, right? Up there. And they're encircled, and it's all these men. I don't know, that looks like a woman right there, but... I'm getting like the orchestrators, okay? Maybe there's a tie to this music, okay? Sacred mission, compassion, morality, religion, guardians of faith, right? But the question is, are they good guardians? And look, it has the soft touch to it. You know those pictures back in the day when they come to the school and record your image, right? And who knows what they would do with those pictures, right? All those children's pictures, right? And wow, collective, that's crazy that would even come out my mouth right now, okay? All right, collective, there's a connection, okay? And maybe this is a victim, so to speak, collective, in the sense that this energy, because look, light is significant here as well as the soft touch. And you know, with that soft touch, they did that, it always would cover up those flaws, you know, within your skin, within the images, within the portrait, right? But these people performing some sort of dark ritual, okay? And look, I recall, okay, my ex-husband, he's an African, right? And he said how for their culture, they do it the reverse. When a child is born or whatever, they celebrate it, they wear black. But when a person passes on, they wear white, okay? If I'm not mistaken. So that's significant. This is some sort of death ritual, collective, surrounded around that Jesus figure that they gave us, right? That's not the true image of Jesus, right? The person we call Jesus. And it's a reenactment of this sacrifice, collective. You know that picture. I can remember that Jesus of Nazareth as I was growing up. That was the worst show, but I loved it as a child. But when I got to a certain age, I saw it one time. I think my mom had it on the TV, right? And my whole perspective had changed. It looked sick and warped and demented, Collective. And it left an impression on me. I just saw 1010 on the clock, Collective. So I'm taking that to end, to feel that they're talking about an end to this, Collective. People following, forgive me, following faith blindly, right? To our detriment. We don't even research and investigate if what these people are telling us is true, Collective, because we've been made to think that it's sacrilegious to ask a question. Come on, okay, Collective? That's what my abuser said to me. Okay, and you know what, that abuser, right? He had a brother that was a police officer. They're all connected in my situation. But back to the Clergy, Collective. These people are performing satanic rituals in the place that they call the church. The place that we go into. And you got to admit, Collective, back when I was a child, going into the church, it was like going into a mausoleum, Collective. Old and dark. And why were those churches so dark like that? Those Baptist churches, as far as I knew, okay? So 11:33 on the clock, Collective. I'm getting like an end of a old paradigm. That's why it's that soft touch, Collective. Because it's fading away. Okay, let the church say amen. Ashe, okay? Let's go. Last flash, Collective. Oh, man. Wow, Collective. When I was shuffling... okay, let's read it first. Homeless, unemployment, solitude, hunger, bankruptcy, wandering. When I was shuffling, I saw, and I know that's the third time I said it, okay? I saw the card of the educator, okay? And I met a man today who instantly triggered my thought when I was thinking, like, where do I know this man from? To the educator, Collective, okay? And it's funny, I believe he said he was a teacher of sorts, okay? I'm not going to say exactly what he said, right? But he was doing some work in my apartment, okay? And I felt like it was this man, okay? And I had a small reflection upon this before cutting on the video. Let me see if I can explain what I'm trying to say. I believe this man was sent to me, okay, to do an assessment on me, a psychological assessment, okay, as well as I was doing one on him, okay, and I believe he was aware of that, right? And I feel like we both came to the same conclusion, that overall that we're each good people, okay? And we were able to share a conversation, okay? And Collective, forgive me, share a cigarette, okay? And it made me think about, I had a video a while ago. I have to see if I can find it. I think I put that educator on the thumbnail. It was a guy, and he was in a marriage, I think. And I think the wife was like evil, and she did something and stripped this man. He was like, successful, right? And he wound up being homeless. And this was a guy I feel like I met today, Collective. Collective, how odd would that be? And it shows you the Truman Show aspect of it, right? And sure, maybe he was a part of the Truman Show, right? Like I am, okay, unwillingly. Okay, but it doesn't mean you don't meet real people in the process. Okay, it's almost like there's so many different undercover agents. It's like an undercover agent in the Matrix, Collective. It's almost like I'm feeling like I'm almost being tapped into something. Not the clergy, though, that's for sure. Okay, so that's not going to happen, okay? But there's something special about this man today. And I feel like that reading from the past may have helped this man. I don't know why I'm feeling that, collective. I feel like that reading expressed the pain that he was feeling. Because it's like nobody understands this man, right? At least at this state in his life, okay? He's doing something else now. But he's a very resourceful person. Something happened to him that devastated his life. I feel like it was in a love situation. And it took him to his lowest points. And it's like nobody will hear his story. People overlook you everywhere you go. And you just trying to let people know, hey, I'm a human. And this was a white man, collective, okay? And we had a productive conversation. And we hugged each other at the end, okay? And, man, I feel like this man is a very fruitful person, okay? I don't feel like they're homeless anymore. I feel like that man I met today is this man, collective. Or was this man. But this man in the other life, he was an educator. We're going to look at the bottom of the deck, okay? Or not, a different part in their life, okay? But this man is a very artistic man, collective. And he hides his art. But I don't think that's going to be for long. Because the world needs to see this man's art, collective. It's his expression, right? Wow. Confirmation, collective. I believe I helped this man. And I believe him helping me today with that God-forsaken water, collective, okay? Him helping me today was his way of thanking me. And I am grateful. And I would like to see, if in terms of, I feel like it's this man I met, him, I would like to see you, because I feel like he may get this reading, okay? See you, expose your art, share your gift. There are people who need it. It's very important, because this is what this new age is all about. So-called new age, right? Whatever you want to call it. It's about expression, I feel, love and joy, work, and but maybe we need to change that word to something else, collective, because it ain't gonna feel like work. I feel like this man is a magician as well, okay? Because I feel like he's very in tune and tapped into his power and who he is, okay? Maybe this point he went through in his life really activated him. Okay, but he's like it's like a Hogwarts or something, collective, going on here, okay? I feel like I'm being tapped into some mystery school, okay? I'm telling you, something strange is going on. All right, collective, but I wish this person well in every way. But the key is, if you have a gift or a talent, that's what's going to get you out of these tough spots, right? So share it. That might be one way. Share it. It's going to help you too. And don't be so... One thing about art and art school, they'll train you early on critiquing each other to toughen you up. Okay? Because if that destroys you, right? It's like, that's it. You're going to give up on it, right? So don't expect it to be easy right off the bat. Because your soul tribe, so to speak, in terms of your art expression, they'll come to you. Okay? But this is definitely like some sort of Harry Potter school that's going on here, collective. And I never could stand Harry Potter. I don't know why. I know it's probably very valuable information in there, okay? But I don't know what it is. Some aversion to Harry Potter. And this clergy building sort of reminds me of Harry Potter, collective, okay? And that's probably why I have these aversions. I have aversions to confirmation castles as well. 9:55 on the clock. Y'all, I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna hurry up. But I think that has something to do with it. I might be stolen from that area, collective. Okay. Let's go. Thank you so much. There's some sort of connection to this music industry and education as well, though. But I feel like this person's a good person. And I feel like this might be the reason for this reflections read. A guide. Interesting. Navigator, progress, direction. I'm getting a leader, collective. I feel like the main leader out here supposedly is the clergy. And look, you got all these non-suspecting people following behind you that don't ask questions, collective. And he's dressed for the part, right, of a navigator. And he's got the map there, right? But he ain't looking at the map, collective. He's daydreaming over there. And everybody's walking towards the cliff. The cliff, collective. Look at those eyes. Let's see. Yeah, he's like little guy Casanova, collective. And forgive me for my shorter brothers in the collective, okay? He just has he's trying to be something he ain't. So I just have to poke fun at him. And look, I can't even hold the card straight, collective. Yeah, I wouldn't follow him, no. Okay, and that's like this right here, collective. All right, collective. If you like the video, collective, like the video.